You've been told erectile problems need pills, L-arginine, testosterone boosters. But what if 60 seconds pressing 2 specific nerve points every morning could trigger firmness without supplements? I'm Dr. Mei Anderson. I've treated thousands of men over 60, and this technique works even when medications fail. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where these points are and why they work faster than anything you've tried. But first, let me show you what happens when you don't know this. Most men think weak erections are about blood flow. And yes, circulation matters. But after 25 years specializing in men's health, I can tell you the real problem is nerve dormancy. Your penis has nerve highways that send arousal signals to your brain. After 60, those signals weaken. Not because the nerves are dead, but because they're asleep. And when your nerves are dormant, no amount of blood flow will create the firmness you're looking for. Here's what happens biologically. Your testosterone levels decline by about 1 to 2% per year after age 30, but that decline accelerates dramatically after 60. At the same time, your blood vessels become less elastic. The collagen and elastin that keep them flexible starts breaking down. Your nerve endings lose sensitivity, what neurologists call age-related sensory decline. The nerve conduction velocity slows down, meaning signals take longer to travel from your penis to your brain and back. Most importantly, your recovery time increases. The refractory period, the time needed between erections, can extend from minutes in your 20s to days in your 60s and beyond. But here's the part most doctors never explain. These changes don't mean your system is broken. They mean it needs different activation. Your nerves are like muscles. When you don't use them, they atrophy. When you stimulate them correctly, they wake up. And that's exactly what the 2-point technique does. Now here's the part that's going to sound almost too simple. Point number 1 is located at the base of your penis, directly above the pubic bone. When you press it for 10 seconds, you're activating the pudendal nerve, the master switch for arousal. I'll show you point number 2 in a moment, but this alone can increase morning firmness within 48 hours. I learned this technique 25 years ago when I studied under urologists in Seoul who mapped these nerve clusters. Western medicine ignores them because there's no prescription to write, no follow-up appointments, no recurring revenue. But the biology is undeniable. Let me tell you about Leonard. He was 73 when he walked into my office. He hadn't achieved firmness in 4 years. He'd tried Viagra, Cialis, even those expensive shockwave treatments. The pills gave him splitting headaches. The treatments did nothing. His wife felt rejected. He told me, "Doc, I feel like half a man. I've given up." Leonard's problem wasn't unusual. It's the same issue I see in most men over 60. Their bodies are stuck in stress mode, and their arousal nerves have gone quiet. Leonard had been married for 48 years. He and his wife, Patricia, had always had a strong physical connection. But over the past 4 years, that connection had disappeared. Not because the love was gone, but because Leonard's body wouldn't cooperate. He told me he'd started sleeping in the guest room because he couldn't handle the feeling of lying next to his wife knowing he couldn't be intimate with her. Patricia thought he didn't find her attractive anymore. Leonard knew the truth, but he was too embarrassed to explain it. That's what erectile dysfunction does. It doesn't just affect your body. It destroys communication. It builds walls between people who love each other. Here's what most men don't realize. Weak erections aren't just embarrassing. They're your body's warning system. Poor circulation to your penis means poor circulation to your heart and brain. Cardiologists call erectile dysfunction the canary in the coal mine. Men who ignore it are 3 times more likely to have a heart attack within 5 years. That's not scare tactics. That's medical fact. A study published in the American Journal of Cardiology followed 1,500 men over 10 years. The men who developed erectile dysfunction and did nothing about it had a 50% higher mortality rate than men who addressed it early. But beyond the physical danger, there's something even more devastating: the psychological toll. You avoid intimacy because the fear of failing is worse than being alone. You plan every outing around bathroom locations. You sit through dinner with your wife, and you can feel the distance growing. She thinks you've lost interest. You know you haven't, but your body won't cooperate. Some men tell me they've stopped feeling like men altogether. That confident, capable feeling, the one that defined them for decades, it's just gone. Leonard felt all of this. He told me. I stopped trying. The humiliation wasn't worth it anymore. I see this pattern constantly in my practice. Men who were once confident, assertive, successful, they come in looking defeated. Their shoulders are slumped. They avoid eye contact. They apologize for taking up my time. That's what happens when a fundamental part of your identity stops working. You start questioning everything. Am I still attractive? Am I still capable? Am I still a man? The answer is yes. But your body needs the right signals to remember that. That's when I showed Leonard the 2-point technique. He looked at me like I was suggesting magic crystals. Doc, you're telling me touching my body will fix what medication couldn't. I said, try it for 2 weeks. If nothing changes, we'll explore other options. Leonard agreed, mostly because he was desperate. But what happened next surprised both of us. Let me explain why this works when pills don't. Your penis has 2 main nerve highways, the pudendal nerve and the dorsal penile nerve. These nerves send signals to your brain saying, time to increase blood flow, time to create firmness. After 60, these signals weaken dramatically, not because the nerves are damaged, but because they're dormant from lack of stimulation. Think of it like a light switch that hasn't been flipped in months. The wiring is fine. The bulb works. But the switch is stuck. Pressing these 2 points is like flipping that circuit breaker back on. You're directly stimulating the nerve pathways that control arousal. And here's the key difference between this and medication. Pills force blood flow artificially. They override your body's natural systems. They work by inhibiting an enzyme called phosphodiesterase type 5, which normally breaks down the molecule that creates erections. So you're essentially blocking your body's natural off switch. That's why pills come with side effects. Headaches, dizziness, vision changes, even dangerous drops in blood pressure. But nerve stimulation works with your biology. It wakes up the pathways that are supposed to be active. It reminds your body how to respond naturally. A 2019 study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that targeted perineal pressure increased nitric oxide release by 40% in men over 65. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and expand. More nitric oxide means better circulation. Better circulation means firmness. And the beauty of this approach is that you're not introducing foreign chemicals. You're activating your body's own production systems. When I showed Leonard where to press, he was skeptical. But I walked him through it step by step. I drew him a diagram. I explained the anatomy. Leonard is a retired engineer, so he appreciated the mechanical logic of it. He said, okay, I understand the theory, but will it actually work? I told him what I tell all my patients. Your body wants to work correctly. Sometimes it just needs a reminder. 2 weeks later, Leonard called me at 7 a.m. I'll tell you what he said in just a moment. But first, let me show you exactly how to do this because the technique matters. If you press the wrong spot or use the wrong pressure, you won't get results. I've had patients come back saying, I tried it and nothing happened. When I asked them to show me what they did, they're pressing 2 inches off the target. Location is everything. Here's the 60-second protocol. Do this immediately upon waking between 6 o'clock and 8 a.m. That timing isn't random. It's your body's natural testosterone surge window. Your hormone levels are highest in the morning, which means your nerves are most responsive. Scientists call this the circadian arousal window. Your body is literally designed to be most sexually responsive in the early morning hours. That's why morning erections used to be so reliable when you were younger. Your body was following its natural rhythm. Sit on the edge of your bed. Your bladder should be full. That's actually important because bladder pressure increases pelvic nerve sensitivity. The pudendal nerve runs right alongside your bladder. When your bladder is full, it creates gentle pressure that makes the nerve more accessible and responsive. So don't urinate first. Do the protocol, then go to the bathroom. Point number 1, the pubic nerve activator. Locate the base of your penis where it meets the pubic bone. You'll feel a firm area right above the shaft. This is the pubic symphysis, the joint where your pelvic bones meet. The pudendal nerve passes directly behind this bone. Press firmly with 2 fingers for 10 seconds. You should feel a dull pressure, not pain. If it hurts, you're pressing too hard. If you feel nothing, you're not pressing hard enough. That pressure is the pudendal nerve responding. Release for 5 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Total time, 45 seconds. What you're doing here is triggering parasympathetic nervous system activation. That's the system that shifts your body from stress mode to arousal mode. Most men over 60 are stuck in chronic stress mode. Their sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response, is constantly active. When that happens, arousal becomes nearly impossible. Blood flow diverts away from non-essential functions, including sexual function, and redirects to your muscles and vital organs. Your body thinks you're in danger, so reproduction becomes a low priority. This pressure point forces the switch. You're manually activating the vagus nerve, which controls your parasympathetic response. Within seconds, your heart rate drops slightly. Your blood pressure normalizes. Blood flow redirects to your pelvic region. This is measurable. If you wore a heart rate monitor during this exercise, you'd see the change in real time. Now point number 2, the perineal power point. Press midway between your scrotum and anus. This is the perineum. You'll feel a soft spot. Press upward, toward your belly button for 10 seconds. Not inward, but upward. That direction matters because you're trying to reach the dorsal penile nerve, which runs along the underside of your pelvis. Release. Repeat twice. This point is directly over the dorsal penile nerve, the nerve that controls erectile rigidity. Urologists use this same area when they perform nerve conduction tests. When you press here, you're sending a direct signal to the nerve that says, "Wake up. Time to function." The dorsal penile nerve is responsible for the sensation and firmness of your erection. When this nerve is dormant, you might feel arousal mentally, but your body doesn't respond physically. That disconnect is incredibly frustrating. Men tell me, "My mind wants it, but my body won't cooperate." That's nerve dormancy, and this pressure point directly addresses it. After pressing both points, do 3 deep belly breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts, letting your belly rise, not your chest. Hold for 2 counts. Exhale through your mouth for 6 counts. This floods your pelvis with oxygen. Oxygen-rich blood is thinner and flows more easily. It also reduces inflammation, which is a major barrier to healthy circulation. That's the entire protocol. 60 seconds. No equipment. No pills. Just targeted nerve stimulation. Now back to Leonard. Week 2, he called me at 7 a.m. I remember because I was making coffee. He said, "Doc, I woke up hard for the first time in 4 years. I didn't believe it would work, but it did." His voice cracked when he said it. I could hear the emotion. For a man who'd felt defeated for years, waking up with firmness was more than physical. It was proof that his body still worked, that he was still capable, that he was still a man. Leonard told me he'd been doing the protocol every single morning. He set an alarm for 6:30 a.m., even on weekends. He said the consistency was key. The first few days he felt nothing. By day 5, he noticed a slight tingling sensation during the exercises. By day 9, he woke up with partial firmness. By day 12, full firmness. And by week 3, it was happening almost every morning. By month 2, Leonard and his wife had rekindled intimacy. He told me. She said I gave her back the man she married. They started holding hands again, kissing in the kitchen. Small gestures that had disappeared over the years. Patricia later told me privately, "I thought we were done with that part of our lives. I'd made peace with it. But having it back, it's like we're newlyweds again." That's what happens when you restore physical connection. The emotional connection follows. 18 months later, Leonard still does this every morning. He's 73 years old, and he feels 50. That's not exaggeration. That's what happens when you give your body the right signals. Leonard also told me something interesting. He said, "Doc, it's not just the physical part. My energy is better. My mood is better. I feel more confident in every area of my life." That makes sense physiologically. When your circulation improves, everything improves. Your brain gets more oxygen. Your muscles recover faster. Your mood stabilizes because blood flow affects neurotransmitter production. Now, I know some of you are thinking this sounds too simple. How can 60 seconds of pressure do what medication couldn't? Let me tell you about Marcus. He was 68 when he came to me. He'd spent thousands on supplements. L-arginine, horny goat weed, maca root, tribulus terrestris. Nothing worked. His energy was low. His confidence was shot. His wife had stopped initiating intimacy because she didn't want to put pressure on him. Marcus told me, "I feel like I'm disappointing everyone, including myself." After 3 weeks of this protocol, Marcus walked into my office grinning. He said, "Doc, my wife asked what's gotten into me. I haven't felt this energized in a decade." His morning erections returned. His mood improved. He started exercising again. He told me he feels like he got his spark back. But here's what really struck me, Marcus said. I didn't realize how much my identity was tied to this. When it stopped working, I stopped feeling like myself. Now I feel like I'm back. Here's what Marcus and Leonard both understood. This isn't magic. It's nerve biology. Your body already knows how to respond. You just have to flip the switch. But here's what most men miss, and this is critical. Consistency is everything. Some of you will try this once, feel nothing, and quit. That's the biggest mistake you can make. Your nerves need 14 to 21 days to rewire. Leonard felt results on day 9. Marcus on day 18. If you quit on day 3, you'll never know what's possible. Think of it like this. If you went to the gym once and didn't see muscles the next day, would you say exercise doesn't work? Of course not. Your body needs time to adapt. The same is true here. Your pudendal and dorsal penile nerves have been dormant for years, maybe decades. They need consistent stimulation to wake up fully. Do this every single morning for 3 weeks. Don't skip days. Don't half-effort it. Press firmly. Breathe deeply. Give your body the signal it's been waiting for. Now here's something else you need to know. This protocol works best when combined with one simple habit. Hydration. Most men over 60 are chronically dehydrated. Your blood is thick. Your circulation is sluggish. When you wake up, drink 16 ounces of water before you do anything else. Hydration thins your blood, which means oxygen and nutrients reach your pelvic region faster. Leonard drinks a full glass of water, does the 2-point protocol, then takes his morning walk. That combination, hydration, nerve stimulation and light movement, creates a circulation surge that lasts all day. Let me address another concern I hear constantly. Dr. Anderson, I've had this problem for years. Can something this simple really reverse it? Yes, because the problem isn't as severe as you think. In most cases, your nerves aren't damaged. They're just inactive. I've seen men in their 80s restore function using this technique. Age isn't the limiting factor. Nerve dormancy is. And nerve dormancy is reversible. I had a patient named Richard who was 81. He'd been dealing with erectile dysfunction for over a decade. He came to me expecting to hear there was nothing that could be done. I showed him this protocol. He was doubtful, but he tried it anyway. 6 weeks later, Richard came back and said, I didn't think anything would help at my age. But this works. He wasn't getting the same function he had at 40, but he was getting enough to maintain intimacy with his wife. And for Richard, that was everything. But I need to be honest with you. This won't work for everyone. If you have severe diabetes with nerve damage, if you've had prostate surgery that severed nerves, if you have advanced cardiovascular disease, you may need medical intervention. This technique supports natural function. It doesn't replace damaged tissue. But for the vast majority of men over 60, the issue isn't damage. It's dormancy. And dormancy responds beautifully to targeted stimulation. Here's another factor that affects results. Stress. Chronic stress keeps your sympathetic nervous system activated constantly. That means your body never fully shifts into rest and repair mode. If you're dealing with financial stress, relationship stress, health anxiety, your nervous system is stuck in overdrive. The 2-point protocol helps counteract this, but you also need to address the underlying stress. Simple practices like walking, deep breathing throughout the day, and getting sunlight in the morning can make a massive difference. Here's a quotable line I want you to remember. 60 seconds pressing 2 points can create firmness that lasts all day. That's not a miracle. That's nerve stimulation. Your body is designed to respond when you give it the right signals. The problem is, most men have never been taught where those signals come from. You've been told to take pills, buy supplements, try exotic herbs. But nobody showed you that your own body has the switch. You just need to know where it is and how to activate it. Now, if you're finding this valuable, I need you to do something right now. Subscribe to Vital Health Seniors. Because in my next video, I'm exposing the one sleeping position that's killing your morning erections. Even if you do this protocol perfectly, 80% of men over 60 sleep this way. It compresses the pudendal nerve for 8 hours straight. You're undoing all the progress you made in the morning by how you sleep at night. If you're sleeping wrong, this 60-second protocol won't save you. That video drops in 3 days. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And gentlemen, there's a man in your life suffering in silence. A brother, a friend, someone at church. He's avoiding intimacy because he's ashamed. He thinks his body has given up on him. He's watching his relationship deteriorate and doesn't know how to fix it. Hit that like button and share this video. You might be the reason he gets his confidence back. You might be the reason his marriage heals. That's worth 5 seconds of your time. Let me leave you with this. Leonard didn't just get his firmness back. He got his identity back. That feeling of being strong, capable, masculine. The confidence that comes from knowing your body works. At 73, he's living proof that your age doesn't define your vitality. Your daily choices do. Press those 2 points tomorrow morning. Do it consistently for 3 weeks. Your body will thank you. Your partner will notice. And you'll remember what it feels like to wake up feeling like yourself again. This isn't about performance. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that you thought was gone. It's about intimacy, connection, and feeling alive in your own body. You deserve that. No matter your age. No matter how long it's been. Your body is still capable. It just needs the right activation. I'm Dr. Mei Anderson. Take care of yourself. You deserve to age with confidence, strength, and dignity.